Hello and welcome back to the studio where you join me today painting away the stress of everyday life here in Wales. Now, somebody made a comment the other day saying you don't really paint over your paintings, do you, Clive, and reuse your cardboard and canvases and things like that. Well, yes, I do. There's a lesson I done the other week, and yeah, there it goes. Say bye-bye.
Hey, welcome, thanks for stopping by. It's time to learn with our friend Clive. So grab your brush, have a great time. And don't forget to
So I've got a little bit of gesso, which I made myself. There you go, it's just this homemade gesso. Go to YouTube, go into the search parameters, type in Clive 5 Art, and then you can search my channel for the homemade gesso recipes. Or type in Clive 5 Art Gesso, and all my gesso recipes should come up. Some of them are old and be reviewed, some of them are new and are current. So yeah, we'll give it a try. You never know which one will work for you. So let's look at the palette. What a mess. What a mess. Yes, well, I've been painting a good few lessons today. You can see my brushes are still dirty as well, so I thought, well, I'm gonna do a quick lesson now, just to show you something. I've been asked how to paint rocks and things like that, so I'll show you a quick lesson today on how to paint rocks. But before I do that, I'm just going to get a little bit of this Prussian blue. I'm just going to paint that directly into the gesso, because this is not going to be a painting as such today. It's more of a lesson on how I paint my rocks and things. And what I suggest you do is do little studies, little examples like this sometimes, and just to learn specific parts of a painting. So you might want to know how to paint a cloud, or you might want to know how to paint a mountain or some trees, or just paint a tree, just paint a mountain. In this case, let's just paint a rock and see what we can come up with. And use your imagination. Don't follow any reference if you can help it, especially when it comes to mountains and trees and things like that. Practice, but then put some paint on a canvas just like I've just done there. I'm all tongue-tied today. And have a go. See what you can come up with. See what shapes that actually present themselves to you. So, I'm not standing on ceremony too much today. I'm just going to wet my brush. I'm going to get a little bit of yellow like this, and I'm going to get a little bit of Prussian blue, just because that's the colours I got on the palette, and you can see it makes a lovely green. It makes a lovely green, and I'm just going to go like that, just like that. Just as simple as that. Just put a little bit of texture just on there, because that's where our rock is going to sit. And that's just going to give us an idea of where we are. Maybe just darken that up a touch like that. A little bit of Prussian blue will make that green wonderful. Play with colours. You don't know what you are going to come up with until you try. So there we are. That's just enough for a sample. That's it. That's all we're doing is zooming in on one specific thing. Now, I'm not even going to wash my brush. I'm going to get some burnt umber on some Prussian blue like this, and I'm just going to mix that together just like that, and I'm going to go like a bush, just what do rocks look like? I don't know what a rock looks like. There's no set form to a rock. It could be one of them funny rocks like that, or it could be just like a lumber rock. Who knows? Just paint play the shape, paint in a shape. There we go, paint in a shape. A little bit of black. Shh. Add a little bit of black to it, just go like that. Bum, 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 bum. Find the shapes. Just let the brush do the work. There we go. Just find the shapes. Just let the brush do the work. Now there's many ways of painting highlights, because we need to paint highlights on this rock. But you can get a card like this, and you can pull in some shapes of rocks. There we go. Now that's a very quick way of putting some highlights onto a rock. Makes it look as if the light's coming this way. Or basically you just get this colour now, add a little bit more white to it. See, it's gone a little bit grey. So we had a bit more burnt umber. Let's get some white, and then we'll just go down in stages now, using the same brush. And I'm just going to tap there. So we'll say the light is coming in that direction. There we go. So we need to put light here, dark there. Always remember that. Where you think the light is going to hit the rocks. And just build it up like that. It's not a hard process. It's just looking for shapes. As you paint in, you'll see these shapes starting to develop. And art isn't a big. You need a little bit of skill, but you need a lot of luck. In a lot of cases, sometimes even the most accomplished artists just rely on luck sometimes, and they won't admit it. But a lot of artists will go, "Wow, that looks good. I'm going to keep that." And somebody say, "Well, that's excellent. Yeah, it took a lot of work, that." They will lie to you. They will. These artists, trust me. So there we are. We'll just put another rock shadow there. A little bit of shadow there. We'll just clean our brush. We get a little bit more light. Now this is very much like painting a tree. So you go in from dark to light and light to dark. Basically, if you think about it, dark to light. Always start off with dark, and then you can build up some shapes, just like this. So you've got this rock face come in like that, and just let the brush. And every time, sit back and just look. I think, yeah, that looks cool. And then we could get a little bit of black in there now. A little bit of black in there. And you can get the rock starting to come together. You get a bit more white this time. Let's touch of yellow. A bit more yellow. It's got this lovely, I would say, it's like, I don't know what colour that would be. It's a bit like, that would make a good skin tone actually, thinking about it. That's a really good skin tone, burnt umber, a little bit of yellow and white. Yeah, you could put a bit of green, you could put a bit of green to that, add a bit of green to that to just knock it back a bit, look, see? Or you're going to add a little bit of red to it, just to pink it up. So there was a good little, some good skin tones there. There we go. Anyway, we're not talking about skin. A bit of highlight. On these rocks. And what I like to do, things like this, is get a little brush, a detail brush, make sure it's wet, and then blend this together, just like that. Get rid of some of them hard lines. But don't forget, this is a painting, so we're going to be looking at this from a distance. So if it looks great from a distance, then it's great. If it doesn't look great from a distance, then you can adjust it a little bit. But there's a multitude of colours on this rock. There we are, a bit of black. Let's get in there. Now don't forget, when you're painting a rock, it's not going to be as big as this unless it's a mountain. Because how big is a mountain? How big is a rock? Well, when it gets to a certain size, it becomes a hill, a mound. And when it's a mound, when it gets to a certain size, then it becomes a mountain. So rocks, you're going to be looking at smaller rocks, aren't you? So you can be looking at things like maybe something as big as that. So all you need to do then is just put some highlight on that, and then you got got a little rock, and you should always bed it in like that, with a shadow. So got a little rock, and a big rock, and a big rock, and a big mound, and then a mound, and then a mountain. What you could do then is you could get your brush, and let's get some yellow again, and some Prussian blue. There we are. I'm not using wax paper today, I'm using a bit of funny paper. It's drying, my paint is drying on here, it's not as wet as it should be actually. Anyway, let's put some grass now in front of that, because that's catching the light. There you go. Get a bit of shadow. A bit more light. A bit more light there. There you go. And then you could get a strip lining brush. Now all of a sudden, a big rock that we painted has now become a very small rock, because you can see the you know they're blades of grass, so your brain now is automatically saying, well, that's a rock in a grassy area. Otherwise it would be a mountain. So if you put a little tiny river there or something like that, all of a sudden that big rock you painted then would become a mountain. See? It's an illusion. It's just an illusion. And there we go. We've got a rock. All of a sudden, a couple of little flowers dot about. Make the painting up. Boom. There you go. A couple of bits of red as well. Let's put some red there. Couple of dots of red, and basically that's how you paint rocks and stones. And if we can do that again, if you want to do that again, we can do that again. We could put another rock, you could get another rock up there, just put another rock up there, let's bed it in very quickly, get our brush, get some highlights on that rock. There we go. Bit of shadow. My paint's all mixing up together now. It's not very good, but it'll do. There we go. Bit of green. Bit of highlight there. We've got a bit of light coming through. All of a sudden we've got some more rocks. There we go. and play, have fun. Play and have fun, and just enjoy the painting process and practice these things. Practice them. Just say, I'm going to paint a rock today. I'm going to paint another rock. I'm going to paint a mountain. I'm going to paint a tree. I'm going to paint. I don't know. I'm going to paint something just on its own as a painting. Wow. You could sell that as a rock. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.